Well, other than like the daily beatings that he gives us, it's pretty cool.
The question was, how's it feel to work with? What's it like to work with James Rolfe? It's good. Yeah, you know.
That's it.
I mean, I've been working on Cinemassacre since 2017, I guess, helping with all the videos and producing all the stuff. You know, me and Kieran pretty much handle most of the editing on the channel. Tony used to. Now he's doing his own show.
Yes, I used to work on the channel, but now I do not. But I still help.
Yes. No, but
Are you a robot?
My fourth mic is on the way.
Here it comes.
It's all good.
my fourth mic.
You just get the mic, it doesn't get plugged in.
Hello.
Oh, God.
There it is.
Cool. Okay.
You got some table running? Wow.
Well,
Thank you.
Finish it.
But no, working with James is a lot of fun, and it's good to, you know, collaborate on a lot of the stuff and everything. So, you know, as someone who was a fan of his stuff, you know, because we talked about it at the table, where, you know, my first AV Gen I ever saw was the fifth one, Ninja Turtles, TMNT, and then, you know, just got to know him more because we did film stuff across the river in Philadelphia. We were at different schools around the same time. He was a senior, I was like a freshman. And the Deader the Better, the movie he did, won in the film festival that, you know, so we kind of like came together from that. But yeah, but working with him for like, you know, knowing him since 2006 and working with him, I guess, professionally for 5 years has been pretty good. Laid back at times, harder at others, depending on the project.
I had fun working with him the time I was there. It was fun. Who else? Oh, yes.
How was Screenwave Media created?
How was Screenwave Media created? You probably know the answer.
Yeah, so originally, and why it's called Screenwave, if you saw the booths and everything, is it originally started as a app company, like Wave Screen on a phone kind of a thing. When Cinemassacre.com had like, when it was like an app on a phone rather than like a website at the time, you know. Because YouTube, like back then, like I don't think the YouTube channel got actually monetized until like 2014, 15. Yeah, like it was on Screwtech originally, but it wasn't, you know, making ad revenue like YouTube would, you know, like the views. It was a lot different back then. Like AV Gen didn't seriously start making like good money stuff until like a little bit before the movie came out. So 2012, 13, 14. Yeah, they had contracts with game trailers and Screwtech and stuff like that. But I think most, you know, of the business stuff came from merch and all that. But Screenwave kind of started to do that with Ryan, and then they quickly pivoted to just becoming an MCN and getting guys like 8-Bit Eric and Pat and all these people to come together. They went to YouTube and said, hey, we want to roll all these channels up. And they kind of just converted the company into doing that, and now we're doing like a lot of production and that stuff. Like a lot of the shows, including Hack the Movies, is shot in our basement, so we're getting more into that. And if you saw the indie games out there, like, you know, Love 3 and Iron Meat, if you played any of those when you walk by, we're getting big in the games as well now. You know, diversify a little bit away from, you know, YouTube. You know, because YouTube's always a rocky road. So,
YouTube sucks.
Yeah. I like Twitch.
Yeah.
I like Twitch a lot more.
I got a question for long-haired glasses guy. Please ask us a question because I can't stop looking at you. Yeah.
All right, I got one. You guys just put out a video playing Resident Evil 4 in virtual reality. So, what do you think is better, Resident Evil 7 on PSVR or Resident Evil 4 on Oculus?
So the Resident Evil 7 is more just like you're still playing with the controller.
Yeah, I did not like Resident Evil 7 VR because it didn't have the teleport option. And yeah, it didn't feel
really?
like you're right. It just felt like you're playing.
You're playing,
against
but
the
you're
camera.
looking around. But the Resident Evil 4 VR is 100%. Like you're pulling guns out. You grab the knife, the grenades. Like you pull them off and like pull the pin and throw them. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's got some weird issues with it. Like people were talking about like the censored cutscenes and things like that. But I skip every cutscene in the game anyway because I just want to shoot. I just want to run around and shoot stuff. and it's really, really fun. Everything like the reloading when the monsters get in your face. So like the El Gigante fight was my favorite because I destroyed him. Like when you're actually aiming the gun in the game, it's so much better than like having to stand there and like aim as Leon, because you can just pull the gun out and just like shoot everything you see. It's really fun. I'd say probably the Resident Evil 4 VR is more of like a real VR than Resident Evil 7 and just like seeing it in the perspective.
Seven was just your head's the camera.
Yeah,
It didn't feel like virtual reality.
This was straight up like every single thing about it. Like you grab your health items and use them. Everything is like on you. It's a VR game.
Sounds intense, man.
Yeah, it's straight up the best VR I've ever played, and I played a lot of VR, but this one is bar none my favorite. Because also too, I love Resident Evil 4.
Man,
It's one of my favorite games of all time. So,
I have a PSVR, and then I'm sitting there wanting, I want Resident Evil 4 to come out on that. That's what
I think it's going to be Oculus only because they actually developed it. They redid everything. Like they rebuilt all the geometry. They used the assets and stuff and the textures, but it's completely redone.
And just being the Oculus, being its standalone headset, way better. I have a Vive Pro set up in my office, but all the lighthouses always have issues, and the games fritz out. It's less fun rather than just put it on and go.
Yeah.
Like having a phone, it's basically a phone in front of your face, so.
I had an Oculus since like last year, but this is the first time that I'm actually having like, I had it for a long time and played nothing on it.
Yeah.
I played like 2 or 3 games and then I never played it. But this thing, it's like I've played through it already. Like I'm just getting to the military island in the like the second disc, I guess. And that's where I've like just gotten to in the game. But I played it like we got the review copy and then I bought my own because I wanted to play it.
My favorite VR game is Drunken Bar Fight.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's so good.
Is that on the Oculus?
Yeah, I have
Possibly. I have it on PSVR.
I have it on Oculus and I have Super Hot.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Question.
Yes.
And what's your guys' favorite YouTube video that you guys did?
Man, that's tough because I've been making YouTube videos since 2009. It's very, very sad. Because I've done a lot of like.
Sad.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a fun job. It's a fun time. I enjoy it.
Sad.
It's
Oh
fun.
my God,
it's
see a therapist. Jesus.
It's tough because you got to think like what came out the best, what did you have the most fun making. It's kind of a toss up.
Hack the movies, Ghostbusters 2016.
Oh yes. On my channel recently, we reviewed Ghostbusters 2016, and I think people have had enough of people who look like me reviewing the movie, so I just let 4 women take over my channel and review it. That's your favorite?
That was fun, because you weren't in it.
Yeah, you got to talk for 2 hours.
Without you interrupting.
Yeah.
It was great.
I'm trying to think. Oh, I know what my favorite video is. We were talking about it earlier. Me and Justin used to do these characters called Joker Fan and Mega Backrun. And they were like the worst people ever. And we did a panel called the Batman Self-Defense Panel. And we were just total assholes for like an hour. It was the worst panel ever, but the people there didn't know it was a joke. And it got shared everywhere, and it made it to the front page of the cringe subreddit because people thought we were like legit. That was my proudest moment. That's probably my favorite video of all time.
I know she's at the. She's in this room right now, but she's walking on the floor. She didn't realize it was me. But in the panel, because we're doing self-defense, I fake a heart attack, and I just fell on this woman in the front row and just like pretend to be dead, and they're like, "Oh my god." That was a fun one to do.
Yeah.
In terms of like, I liked. I did the AV Jam Spawn Clown. That was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah.
Doing character acting stuff's cool.
And Jurassic Park too, that was great.
I was actually doing I think Newman, Nedry. Yeah, that was fun too, acting. So I'd like to do some more acting. I said it before in this year's some of AV Jam. Like I'd like to be Robotnik one day. I'd like to be Wario, but like Virtual Boy. They have like all red lights and kind of thing style. Like I was thinking about that. I don't know what to do about that, but in terms of AV Jam, Pepsi Man was a lot of fun to do.
Right, Pepsi Man was really
In terms of producing, because we need the makeup, we needed to fly the actors in, we needed the suits, we needed the sets and all that stuff. So that one was pretty cool to me.
Trespasser was probably my favorite AVGN to shoot. Because for some reason, we had to film it on an island in the middle of like the river.
the Delaware River.
Yeah, so we took a boat and a jet ski out, Justin had to like jet ski me to the beach of this island and then go back to the boat, get the equipment, and jet ski it back. So we're like back and forth. And as we're shooting the episode, you kind of see it like later in the episode, like there's no more beach, it's just water, and I'm like sitting there holding the camera, just hoping Justin comes
Because
back.
the tide's coming in,
Yeah.
and this is in the Philadelphia, the Delaware River is an active shipping channel. So like tugboats and oil tankers were driving by, and the waves were like goosh, goosh, goosh. It was in sunset. We're losing light. Like that was really bad. And someone's like, why didn't you just shoot it on the side? Like use a drone to shoot the island parts on the top. Why didn't you shoot on the side of like a bog somewhere? Like with that one angle, you wouldn't know it's an island. And I was like, oh right, yeah.
Yeah, that would have made a lot of sense, but.
Yeah, and that was cool. We got the Jurassic Park Jeep. Yeah, I always like pulling in a lot of stuff and doing a lot of stuff. As much as I can outside the nerd room when it's possible. And we did a lot that year, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what was the least fun episode to ever do, and that was what was it, Immortal.
Oh
We
god.
did the whole thing in one
One take.
shot, and I was the orc or the ogre thing, and I was wearing this skin tight Zentai suit that looked like an ogre and a loincloth, and I was just sitting in the bathroom for hours at a time because James would come in, do about 9 minutes of a take, mess up halfway through and have to start over, and then come back, do the same 9 minutes, mess up, have to do it again. So I'm sitting there on this toilet with a staff in a skin tight green ogre suit.
Yeah, or the camera guys would mess up because we had like a big rig kind of thing with
Yeah, it was. It took an entire day to set. It was a
This is like a steady cam.
That's so stupid.
It was like it looked like a Gundam suit that this guy was wearing to operate a camera, and it was horrible.
We should have because we were using the Black Magic cameras back then to shoot, and then during the pandemic, James just kind of went back to his old camera stuff like that we've seen. Some of the videos look a little different than what we have been making with them. But yeah, for that we should have just grabbed a nice iPhone, put it on a stick, and redid the voice and stuff later or whatever. Because James is really good at laying down ADR where you talk over your own voice after the fact. Like the Black Tiger episode with Gilbert Godfrey.
Oh, that was the worst episode.
And
Actually, that was a nightmare.
YouTube Space completely. Oh God, I hate them. God, they closed forever. They just treated us like crap the
whole way through, and then
yeah, but because there was a lot of gear issues and a lot of time issues and a lot of stuff with Gilbert. But they put us in the worst room up these stairs. He's like old, he can't walk up them. It was bad. But they put us above a U.S. Marshal's office, so the mics wouldn't work because there was jamming like stuff in the ceiling.
Yeah, they had signal
So
jam
and they
on
didn't
it.
tell us that. So we're like, why won't the mics work? So
And then we went down there, and I'm like, hey, our microphones are getting this buzzing sound, and they're like, well, it's probably your equipment. And I was like, all right, thanks.
Yeah, they
And then they gave us a microphone. We plugged it in, and it almost blew Tony's eardrums out because the microphone they gave us was totally broken.
Yeah.
And we plugged it in, and I was able to hear the
I remember
static
he
from
threw
across
the headphones
room.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony whipped
So-
the headphones off.
So at YouTube Space, they have like 4 or 5 big studios meant for filming. And I've been there before filming other stuff, so we're thinking we're getting that. They ended up scheduling us a day where they had like other they were doing like a tour of all the things where you need to shoot. So we couldn't use the actual studios. They're like, here, go in this room. It's like a fake wine room with stone walls.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh great, so the sound will just bounce off
yeah,
everything.
it used to be the Young Turks set.
Right.
They put us in a room like the size of the stage. It's like good luck, and a paper green screen and like barely any
green
light.
screen.
Shout out to Gilbert Godfrey though. That guy was a fucking trooper.
It was really
Like he
good.
was. I've worked with him once before. He's like one of the most professional people to work with. He's like, he totally gets it.
One take, like you just knocking them out. But
Oh yeah.
Oh, and then also too, James doesn't do elevators at all. He will not get on an elevator. He will only do stairs, and we found this out one time because we were at.
Was it Max?
No, the way I found it out was
It
we
was
were in Atlantic City, and he brought boxes and boxes of DVDs, and then James was like, oh, I don't do elevators, and I was like, okay, well, and then, I'm like, well, there's an escalator, no problem. So we get to the escalator, and it's just down for some reason, and it was fine like a minute ago, but it was down. So I watched James carry a tote of DVDs up a down escalator, and he ran up it. It was like the weirdest thing I'd ever seen in my life. This was like the first time I ever met him too.
yeah, because he's scared of elevators because he's been stuck in like 4 his
Yeah.
life. So he's like, I'm done with them. But at YouTube Space, where they're like, oh, the elevators are there, he's like, well, I don't do it. They're like, well,
Yeah, the
that's
guy
the
like
only
made
way
fun
to
of him. He's like,
go.
what are you, like afraid of an elevator? Or something? Like, he started making fun of James. Like, yeah, I am actually. I was trapped in elevators, and then the guy was like a real jerk about it. It was just awful.
Yeah, but with the mic buzzing and stuff, Gilbert's so loud that the mics still pick him up, and you just cut the room, you know, like the noise of the mic, like cut out the room noise of it. But James, like, would just, he's kind of softer, compared to Gilbert, And so James had to revoice every one of his lines after the fact of watching the video. But if you watch that episode, you can't even tell because he is so good at it. So the Immortal episode, we should have done that. So we run into a lot of production snag, or, you know, trying to bite off more than you can chew. But I don't know, it's still fun to do.
What was the worst video you ever did? The alien power loader suit?
Oh, I forgot I was in
Yeah,
that.
we shot on my channel, we shot a review for like an alien game, and I had a girl dressed as Ripley, and I'm like, we gotta get you a power loader suit. So we just threw Johanna in yellow spandex and cardboard, so then they had to like mine together, much like the real aliens, but you had to like sit there with like a piece of board over your head for like an hour, like not see.
I'm just like, oh, okay, she's going this way.
And I'm like, do it better, and you're like, I can't see. I'm like, that's your problem.
I hate you.
But yes, any other questions? Yes, right here.
Rex Viper.
Yeah.
That's not a question.
Oh,
What
I
do you guys
understand.
think so far of the Rex Viper adventure? I guess you guys have.
Well, so Rex Viper, because a lot of people in the videos are like, why is Justin in it? And I'm like, I don't know.
I had a violent falling out. I was the guitar player for a couple songs. I developed a really hardcore heroin addiction. And I decided, James went, Kieran, you ain't in Rex Viper until you go to rehab. So then I did a stint.
Behind the music.
Yeah.
I was asked to be in the band, and I said it'll never go anywhere. I pulled a real Pete Best move right there.
What happened with that is originally, because Kieran was in bands for a while now, playing stuff at like after parties, like too many games, just fun stuff, like, you know, like 2 levels above karaoke.
Yeah, I was in a band where we would do like wrestling themes and songs from the show Doug and a bunch of anime soundtrack songs, things like that. Like we were in a band for a while, and I left that because it started getting really awful. I hate being in bands. Yeah, like when this band happened, I was like, I don't want to be in a band. Can I not? And then James made me play the guitar. And I told him, like, hey, I don't play the guitar at all. I know how to play jump on the keyboard.
Nice.
But I don't
Specifically
play a cat keyboard.
Yeah, I play a cat keyboard. I play a guitar, but I play like 5 or 6 things, and that's it. But then James was like, "Oh, can you learn all of Power and Love? Can you learn?" And I'm like, "No, but whatever."
Especially for stage.
Like, it was like, that's it. Yeah, so I was like, hey, I'm not getting on stage and playing this. It's going to be awful.
So,
it's going to be you guys watching me go, ready, oh, wait, hold on, and hitting like 3 notes and fucking up over and over again. So I'm not doing, oh, wait.
Yeah, I think it's like a curse.
Am I okay to do that?
I don't think anyone's even monitoring this. So
Sorry, I didn't
what ended up happening was me and Kieran thought
Yeah.
we would do a little fun side project called Power Extreme, like from the Centurions, like Power Extreme. And it was
Man and Machine.
and the goal was, oh, we'll take a video game song and a movie song and just mix it together, like Mighty Wings and Hadoukens. And we wanted to make it like Nerdy Guar, where the stage show was the real thing. And my goal on the stage was I was going to be in this giant suit of this monster called Big Red, kind of like Guar has a big monster suit, and that was my job, is to be this antagonist to the band. And we'd have like Sub-Zero would be in the band, and James would play the guitar, but he'd be the actual nerd, and it was going to be this whole thing. But then we told James, he's like, oh, that's really cool. But I was like, yeah, but you know, that's a lot of, you know, like that's, you know, like let's worry about making nerd up. This is like 2019.
Yeah, this was 2019, like when it. It was actually when we were at a YouTube party at PAX. That's where it like all kind of came out.
And so what ended up happening is we went to Portland Retro in 2019, and Adam, the square painter, who's the bassist, was talking to him, like, hey, I can play the bass, you play that, how about we just start, let's just do it. Let's just pull the trigger on it. And they're like, okay, well, you know, Kieran can sing, or we can do this or that, like, we weren't sure what's happening. But we kept, like, kind of pushing it off, like, no, we want to do this other stuff, it's not a big deal. But during the pandemic, a lot of people had nothing to do, James just kind of put everything else together, because he knew, like, Epic James, the guitarist, who does a lot of work on, like, he did, like, the Power Rangers theme for the Nerd episode, he does a lot of stuff on the side. and he knew the vocalist, because I'm like, me and Kieran can't carry a whole show. I'm still kind of in the band because of the big red suit stuff and all that. And James Harding, the singer for Villains, is like, hey, I need backing stuff because I can't carry some of these on stage. So I kind of am in the band, I guess. But yeah, it kind of came together because it was one idea that turned into another, and then with COVID boredom and James wanting to, learn to play guitar and be on stage and do all that stuff, do something fun. That's kind of where it came from and where it is. I think now that we have 6 songs recorded and good to go, 2 more music videos have to come out. There might be some tours and random stuff this year. Like 4 city tours, like, oh, you do Boston, New York, Philly over a weekend. Or do like a convention run or something. It's just tough because you got 2 guys in Canada. There's a lot of gear you got to bring. I got to memorize lyrics, which I hate. Like at the Rex Piper show at Too Many Games, I had like lyric notes on the floor. Because,
you were like, hey, you think this will work? I'm like, I mean, you probably should memorize the lyrics, but go for
well,
it.
Usually, yeah, but the problem is 2 of those songs we learned that week because we didn't film the set. Yeah. So, like, everyone met for the first time that week. We had 9 hours of practice time total over 3 days in Philly, and that includes setup breakdown, so maybe 4 hours of practice. So we play all the songs a couple times, and he's like, hey, I added this whole double dragon part to the song. I'm like, that's news. So, and then at Too Many Games, I'm also running the con, we're doing the panels, we're driving trucks around, like, Cinemassacre is like 25% of my job at Screenwave, so, and with Too Many Games. So.
My favorite thing about Rex Piper is after, like, the first song came out, like, there were fans who thought I was upset that I wasn't in the band.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, do you feel, like, really left out? Like, it's kind of messed up they're not in the band. And I'm like, I don't sing, nor can I play an instrument. Why would I be in the band?
You could do the tambourine or something.
I don't even want to do the tambourine.
Cowbell.
Cowbell. So the drummer Brad's a really cool dude, and he was just like, hey, man, I know you're up there kind of like, bouncing around or whatever you're doing. Do you want a tambourine or a cowbell? I'm like,
I told you to do it.
But then I said, you know what? I could probably put my phone in the tambourine and just look at the lyrics.
So one time we went and saw this band one time. They're called Boathouse Row, and they're a group of dudes that play yacht rock. So they play like Hall Notes and like Kenny Loggins type stuff. And there's this guy that always shows up at their shows, and he brings his own tambourine, and they like let him play the tambourine and stuff at their shows.
Oh, that's like I don't know, you guys know Crush 40. They did like the Sonic Adventure music and stuff like that.
They did like the song, the City Escape song.
Yeah, like Live and Learn.
Do you guys know that song? Yeah. You guys ever play Sonic Adventure 2? Really?
The first level when you're going down the hill, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
So
One person
he's like
I'm a Sega fan, so.
Johnny from the band came to Too Many Games, and like it packed room. Like everyone loves Sonic music except for people here.
You guys wouldn't have liked the show.
Well, this group is like the Sonic and Knuckles was the last good Sonic game. I get it.
I agree.
Video games are for children.
And what he does is he only does vocals. So what he does is he grabs random people, like it's opposite karaoke. So we have people come up and they air guitar.
It's pretty hard to watch.
Imagine someone singing and then there's 6 people above just doing this and like
it's like
but they're also Sonic
I had
fans,
to leave the
kind
room.
of
I couldn't do it. I was like, I can't do this. I can't watch it.
So that's kind of like Rex Piper.
Yeah.
Just don't play elevator music.
No.
Any elevators.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's start with him and then we'll do you.
All right. I just want to say something first. I appreciate you starting or keeping that going to Hack the Movies because I feel like that's almost an extension of rental reviews.
He stole it. He stole it.
I think it's a way better reboot, better than the original.
There's women.
Right.
Oh, it's like Star Wars 7, huh?
Yeah, it's the Force Awakens of cinema.
I still go back and watch that, so it's great content. And just wondering, as far as to jump in another question. I know that AVGN did the crossover with Chris Boers, and they squashed all the backstory with that. So is he planning on doing any other crossovers with him?
Yeah, the Irate Gamer thing was interesting. I forgot where I was, but because that happened because I decided to mend the bridge, and I sent Chris an email because I had this whole idea, which should have happened, but pandemic, where we're making Rex Viper and Dick Tracy crossovers. What ended up happening was, he's like, no hard feelings to you guys. Let's talk it out. Him and James exchanged emails. That was all cool. And we had this idea for an AVGN episode, not 200, but like closer to this year, where it would be American Gladiators for
Huh.
NES, which is 2-player, and you play as the 2 people against all the other guys. And it was going to be the average gamer and James kind of going through all these challenges and have these big muscle men like smacking them down and stuff. But it was supposed to be an analogy about the fandoms trying to make them fight back in the day.
Right.
To have this like higher level whatever. And it ends with them teaming up against that and proving themselves and shaking hands. And it was supposed to end like Rocky, where and they take the swing at each other and it
Yeah.
freezes, plays the music. So
That didn't happen.
that was the original goal, but because of the pandemic and not moving anything, Chris was like, hey, you just want to be in my Dick Tracy video? And James was like, okay, that's fine. So it's kind of like more of a lesser than the big thing we had planned, but that kind of is what it is. In the future, it'd be cool to get Chris on the podcast that we do every Tuesday now, but I'm not sure what else we would do. I do want to go to, he's in Sandusky, Ohio, where Cedar Point is, the coaster park.
We're gonna go.
So I wanted to go roller coaster riding and like ghost hunting and stuff with him.
Oh, yeah, you
I
can
wanna
talk
review-
about ghosts.
I want to review the Dick Tracy movie with Chris Bowers, because watching that video, I'm like, man, this guy thinks that movie is bigger than it was. Like, I thought it was totally fucking forgettable. No one cared.
Really? You didn't
He's
like
like,
it?
everyone really loved it. I'm like, it was not a big hit, dude.
I've never
It was
seen it.
It's okay.
It was like Batman, kind of, because it came out a year. It was
Yeah,
like that
but not
same
as
vein.
popular as
No.
Batman. Like, that review, when you watch it, like, he thinks this was like the biggest movie of the 90s. I'm like,
Hey, does anyone have a bottle opener? Anybody?
Anybody have a bottle over?
Yeah, so come over here and grab a bottle opener.
You guys mind?
that's real professional.
We're having an issue.
So
Kieran's been trying to open a bottle with keys over
yeah,
there.
but
That's
like
5
trying really
minutes.
hard to do
Yeah,
it
that's not
covertly.
gonna work.
So this is how to become a YouTube influencer,
Oh my God, Kieran.
and
Anyway,
I was gonna make a joke, but I'm not even gonna do it.
Huh?
I was gonna add on to what he said. How do you guys
Thank
do
you.
the networking
Yeah.
for the channel?
What was that?
How do you guys do the networking for the channel, like getting
Thanks so
certain
much.
guests, and then who do you want
Cheers.
to in the future?
Okay, well, actually, the networking, it's mostly like, well, conventions help with it. You need a lot of people during conventions. Yeah, I think you just have to hit that. You have to be in the same circles as people. You have to kind of get their attention. I've met a lot of people from Twitter before, or just other YouTubers have introduced me to other YouTubers. As far as dream guests go, Billy Zane.
Oh my God.
All I want is Billy Zane on the show, and I want to review The Phantom with Billy Zane.
Please.
I just want Billy Zane.
He
on.
isn't doing anything.
He's in town a couple times a year.
But like, he's not like doing anything.
That's really mean to say about Billy Zane. He's a very successful man. He's very happy. I follow the man on Instagram. He's very busy. But no, I really want to talk about The Phantom with Billy Zane. That is my dream guest. And there's another guest I want that I think I'm about to get, but I don't want to spoil it because it's not set in stone yet. And this wasn't a dream guest, but this is just something that's happening. We're doing 8 Crazy Nights, and we're doing an interview with the director at the end of it, so if you like Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy Nights, you're going to want to watch that episode. But what about Cinemassacre-wise? What are some guests you want?
I mean, stuff from like us in it, that's pretty easy. But with stuff like Gilbert or Mike Butters from Pepsi Man or Macaulay Culkin or
Well, Macaulay Culkin probably, like, we're never
A
gonna
lot-
talk to him ever again.
yeah.
It's not anything we did, it's just that when we did this, Macaulay Culkin wasn't, like, we made the episode with him and he was kind of going around just like hanging out with people and stuff. And then now he's on American Horror Story.
Yep.
He did it was like there was like
He's
this
back in
perfect
public
storm.
eye.
Yeah, like basically he
I like thinking we relaunched that career.
Yeah, it was like it was us, and
I'm
right
pretty
after we released the episode, they put that commercial out where he was.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it was the Google commercial.
Yeah,
that
but
did
it was like then, and then on top of that, like too, the AVGN episode was trending, but it was trending on like the regular YouTube thing. Like we beat out like everything that
Take
week.
that Fortnite and Minecraft.
Yeah, it was like Fortnite, Minecraft, like all these things, and we destroyed them. Like Mr. Beast, I remember too, we beat him out.
Smoked.
I was like, yeah.
But in
That's
terms
cool.
of your question, for stuff like that, like Macaulay reached out to us, Gilbert reached out to James a long time ago about his own podcast, and we just reached back out. Mike Butters just shot an email. I think I contacted him on Facebook.
Well, that's the thing too. Macaulay Culkin actually watched rental reviews, and he watched AVGN. He's a huge fan actually.
It's been crazy to find out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the thing too, like, we hung out with him all weekend, so we were just going to, like, bars with Macaulay Culkin.
He was awesome, like,
It was, yeah.
Yeah, like
People were buying us drinks and coming up to us like, oh, who are you? And I remember we went outside. At the time, I'm not like super proud of this, but I used to vape. And Macaulay Culkin smoked cigarettes like every 8 seconds. So me and him went outside and we were hanging out, and these people came over and they were like, are you Macaulay Culkin? Oh my God. And they're like, oh, who are you? And I was like, oh, I'm Kieran. And they're like, oh, Kieran Culkin? His brother's name is Kieran? And I was like, yes. Yes, I am.
That was my favorite thing with Macaulay Culkin. Like, I asked him ahead of time for that Big Trouble episode. I'm like, hey, at the end, can I pretend that I think you're Kieran Culkin and just start name dropping it? He's like, I'm totally cool with
Yeah.
that. And he played along with it. I'm like, that's
No,
awesome.
he was really, and he made a really nice like video. My sister's birthday was when we were filming, and I couldn't go. This was like when, you know, this was like I was like, hey, Aaron, I can't come to your birthday, Aaron. I have to go hang out with Macaulay Culkin. What her favorite part of Home Alone was the angels with filthy souls. But he's like, keep the change, you filthy animal. And I had him say that. He delivered the line.
It's a real cameo in real life.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, this was before Cameo, actually, now that I think about it.
It was, yeah. Yeah, so you just contact them when they contact you. Networking's a little different.
Don't try to contact Grandel Bush. He'll fucking leave you on red.
It's
If
like,
you don't know, Grandel Bush is Balrog from Street Fighter the movie.
He's also one of the Agent Johnsons in Die Hard.
Yeah, and he totally like.
Which is a Christmas movie, by the way.
I messaged him out of nowhere, and I was like, "Hey, are you the Grandel Bush?" And he was like, "Last I checked." And I was like, "Hey, we're big fans of Street Fighter the movie. We'd love to talk to you." And he just never answered me again.
last time you checked.
Yeah, which is funny. Wes Studi talks about Street Fighter the movie, like and he was like, "I just wanted to work with Raul Julia." Like
No.
a lot of people just wanted to work with him.
I can
That's
see
it.
that.